Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Leo, and welcome back to Mystic Twinflame Tarot Psychic. There's someone who truly deeply likes you, but there's an interesting dynamic unfolding here that I need to walk you through carefully. This person may have spent a significant portion of their life in a rougher environment, living what some might call a street life. They've seen things, done things, survived things that shaped them in profound ways. Now they see that you're spiritual, that you carry this light and this wisdom, and they're anticipating judgment from you. When it comes to you, this person actually feels clingy, vulnerable even, and that's completely foreign territory for them. Here's what's happening, and this is crucial for you to understand. They believe you're drawn to them because of their rugged past, because they know how to handle themselves, because they've lived a harder life, because they can protect and provide in ways that someone who hasn't lived that life simply can't. They think you're attracted to that tough exterior, that protective energy, that street credibility. They genuinely believe that's what's drawing you in. But you're a spiritual woman, you carry divine feminine energy, and ironically, that's exactly what draws them to you like a moth to a flame. This masculine is secretly in a phase where they want to be emotionally close with you, even clingy in ways they've never allowed themselves to be with anyone before. But they're absolutely terrified to show it. They fear that you expect them to maintain this tough persona, this warrior archetype. And if they reveal their softer, more romantic, more vulnerable side, you'll be disappointed. You'll see them as weak, you'll lose interest. You'll realize they're not who you thought they were and walk away. I sense this may have happened to them before, showing vulnerability and being rejected for it, being told they were too soft, being abandoned when they dared to reveal their heart. That wound runs deep, and it's affecting how they show up with you now. We see the loyalty card coming through here with tremendous strength. This person genuinely likes you, and I want to be clear, this goes beyond surface attraction. They're drawn to your spirituality because they associate you with strong values, with loyalty, with integrity, with being the kind of woman who will truly be there for them in the ways they need most. They see you as someone who wouldn't abandon them when things get difficult, someone who understands commitment on a soul level. The Eight of Wands is showing me that they see you as someone they can truly communicate with, a good friend, a confidant, an ally in this life journey. This isn't just about romance for them. They genuinely see you as someone they could build a real partnership with, someone they could share their thoughts with at 3 in the morning, someone who would understand the complexity of who they are. They love your high priestess energy, and this is so beautiful. You're mysterious to them, and they have to work to understand what's going on with you. You're not an open book, and that fascinates them. Notice how the High Priestess has her back to us in this card, moving back into her own realm, into her own sacred space. They love that about you, that you always feel spiritually elusive, always between dimensions, always connected to something greater than just the physical world. This person has spiritual energy themselves, though they may not have fully embraced it or understood it yet, and they recognize that same energy in you. They're curious about what makes you who you are, what it is about you that captivates them so deeply. You're like a puzzle they want to spend their lifetime solving, not because they want to control you, but because they genuinely want to understand and appreciate every layer of who you are. Now I'm seeing energy around others perceiving you as secretive or even shady, and I want to address this because it's important. With your sweetness, your softness, and your deeply observant nature, some masculines who carry trauma and trust issues have tried to label you this way. It's their first defense mechanism. She must be hiding something. She must be playing games because I don't understand her. Nobody is genuinely this kind, this peaceful, this centered. They don't want to believe you're genuinely this remarkable, this authentic, this grounded, but you truly are. They simply don't know how to process you because you don't fit into the boxes they've created based on their past experiences. You're busy because you have a life. You get things done, you have goals, you have purpose, you have responsibilities. You don't have time for games or drama or toxic relationship patterns. Many are intimidated by this. They don't know how to approach a woman who isn't sitting around waiting for validation, who isn't desperate for attention, who has her own life happening independent of any romantic connection. But not this person. They've lived enough life, they've seen enough, they've experienced enough that a strong, self-assured woman doesn't frighten them. It intrigues them deeply. It draws them in. However, they sometimes feel like maybe you deserve someone better, someone with more to offer, someone who hasn't made the mistakes they've made or lived the life they've lived, someone cleaner, more polished, more traditionally successful. Here's the disconnect, and this is the heart of the miscommunication between you. They think you're in love with their rough aesthetic, their past, their street credibility. They don't realize you want them for who they truly are underneath all of that. The sensitive, thoughtful, evolving person they're becoming. They believe you're attracted to the image, the persona, the reputation, not the reality of who they've become or who they're trying to become. There's been a miscommunication at the core of this connection. They don't quite understand why you're drawn to them, and it's not for the reasons they assume. They're operating from a false assumption. And until that gets cleared up through honest conversation, you'll both be dancing around the truth of this connection. I'm seeing something significant around Tuesday. A conversation, a shift, something that happened or will happen on a Tuesday. This day carries weight in this connection. I'm also seeing September energy very strongly, either past or approaching. Something important occurred or will occur in September. This could be when something shifts dramatically, when a truth comes out, when a decision gets made, or when the relationship moves to a new level entirely. This masculine truly sees you as someone they owe an apology to, and this is coming from such a deep place within them. There's tremendous complexity and sensitivity within them that most people never get to see. They feel they owe you an explanation because you might think they're not as invested as they truly are. You might think their pulling back means disinterest when it actually means the opposite. It means their feelings are so intense they don't know how to handle them. Sometimes they retreat into their shell. They may be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Libra, have significant placements in these signs. When they pull back, when you don't hear from them for a few days, when they go quiet and introspective, those are actually the moments when their feelings are most intense. They're not losing interest, they're processing, they're protecting themselves. They're trying to figure out how to show up authentically without getting hurt. The Page of Wands is showing me this pattern of withdrawal and return, but Spirit wants you to understand their absence doesn't mean lack of interest. It's self-protection. It's them trying to maintain emotional safety while navigating feelings that are deeper than anything they've felt in a very long time, possibly ever. If you remain in this connection and allow it to unfold naturally, within 2 years there will be significant, undeniable shifts. You will become part of their inner circle in ways that are unshakable. You'll be like family, inseparable, able to share everything together, to weather storms together, to celebrate victories together. You'll be in a completely different space than you are now, but you both have to make it to that point. You have to navigate this current phase of uncertainty and miscommunication. Right now, in this present moment, they isolate themselves from you because they anticipate rejection. When they feel themselves becoming the sensitive, emotional person they truly are, when that tenderness rises up in them, they assume that's when you'll pull away. They assume that's when you'll decide they're not the person you thought they were. But this person doesn't know how to show you their spiritual side, and that's what they're truly struggling with. They know you pray, that you're spiritually connected, that you have practices and rituals and a relationship with the divine. And they're doing the same things privately. They're praying too, they're seeking guidance too, they're on their own spiritual journey, but they can't reveal it. They don't know how to be vulnerable about that part of themselves because in their world, in their past environment, spirituality wasn't something men discussed openly. It wasn't seen as masculine or acceptable. I keep seeing the 3 of Pentacles, which tells me that the environment they came from, the people they used to associate with, the community that shaped them expect them to maintain a certain persona. They expect toughness. They expect a certain type of masculinity. They expect them to never change or evolve or grow beyond who they were at 18 or 21. Their lived experience has taught them that everyone expects them to stay frozen in that old identity, like a character in a story who isn't allowed to develop. So they assume you expect it too, even though you've never said that, even though you've never indicated that, even though that's not what you want at all. The Four of Pentacles shows me they're holding back certain parts of themselves, only offering fragments, only showing you pieces of the whole picture. They're afraid that once you see what's truly buried within, the poetry, the sensitivity, the dreams, the fears, the spiritual seeking, once you witness the deepest parts of them, you won't want what you find. Nobody seems to want the real them. People want the image, the reputation, the persona, but not the human being underneath. They're afraid they won't be able to follow through on a relationship with you if you discover who they really are now. Someone who has matured significantly beyond who they once were. Someone who doesn't want the street life anymore. Someone who wants peace and partnership and purpose. They're not living that old life anymore, but they don't know if you believe that or if you'd even want that version of them. There are truths and conversations between you that desperately need to happen for this connection to move forward in a healthy way. Things need to be spoken out loud. Assumptions need to be addressed. Feelings need to be expressed. This connection cannot reach its full potential while operating on assumptions and fear-based thinking. The King of Cups just appeared, and this card is so significant. This person is deeply emotional. They feel everything intensely. They're much sweeter these days than they've ever been. More tender, more open to love and connection and vulnerability. Honestly, at one point in their life, they were associated with toxic masculinity. They were the person who didn't cry, who didn't express emotions, who handled everything through aggression or control or emotional detachment. The Justice card is showing me possible legal troubles in their past, perhaps jail time, or maybe everyone thought they were headed there because of how they were living. Even from a young age, teachers, family members, community members may have looked at them and assumed they'd end up incarcerated. They were written off, dismissed, expected to fail. They were associated with toxic masculinity from youth, told that's what being a man meant, being tough, being hard, never showing weakness. Now they're a grown person who has lived, who may have children or younger family members looking up to them, who understands that the old ways don't work. They've evolved into a divine masculine energy, emotionally fluid, water sign energy, capable of feeling and expressing and connecting on deeper levels. But people don't want to release them from that old archetype. Family members, old friends, even some romantic interests don't want to let them move beyond who they were when they were living recklessly, when they were that person everyone expected them to be. The Six of Cups tells me this goes back to their childhood, to their foundational years. They don't know how to declare their divine masculinity, how to stand in it proudly and say, "This is who I am now." They might not even understand the terminology or the concept. They know they've ascended, evolved, changed fundamentally, but they don't know how to navigate the world in this new spiritual space. It's like they're learning a new language but don't have anyone to practice with. So they're trying to maintain appearances, letting everyone see some version of who they used to be, playing a role that no longer fits but feels safer than revealing who they've become. It's exhausting for them, and you can probably sense that exhaustion even when they don't verbalize it. But truly, this person is ready to walk away from their former identity. They don't want to be that person anymore. They aren't that person anymore. They want to completely transform to be a real, whole, mature person who contributes positively to the world, who builds instead of destroys, who loves instead of guards. This masculine is thinking about meaningful work, perhaps starting a construction company, doing mentoring work with youth, or working in transportation. Whatever the specific field, they're thinking about honest work that serves a purpose, that builds something lasting. They're ready to get serious about their life in ways they never have been before. They're tired of the old ways, tired of the chaos, tired of the emptiness of that lifestyle. This person is ready to release many people from their life and step into a more spiritual, grounded existence. They realize they weren't operating from a healthy place before. They know they were in the dark, that they were hurting themselves and others, that they were disconnected from their true purpose. They don't want to return to that, but they don't know how to aggressively step into this new phase of life. They're hesitant, uncertain, afraid of making the wrong move. They consider being with you a victory, a blessing they don't feel they necessarily deserve. You're balanced. You have your priorities straight. You're exceptional in every way they value. They feel like they've truly met someone special this time, someone different from anyone they've encountered before, but they still have their guard up, still afraid you won't love them for who they truly are beneath the surface. I'm seeing them sitting up at night, unable to sleep, crying sometimes, stressed about many things emotionally and psychologically. They're trying to figure out how to break free from old stereotypes about themselves while still maintaining their dignity and self-respect. They want to be respected for the growth they've achieved without remaining the person they were. It's a delicate balance, and they're struggling to find it. What we're seeing is someone on their journey to sovereignty who hasn't quite arrived yet. They haven't fully learned to separate from the herd, to stand alone in their truth, and it's incredibly painful for them. There's grief in letting go of who you were, even when who you were was destructive. There's grief in disappointing people who expect you to stay the same, even when staying the same would destroy you. Here's what Spirit is showing me clearly, and this is so important. Their former associates, the people they grew up with, the ones they used to run the streets with, speak poorly of them now. They call them soft. They say things like, "He's changed, he's not down anymore. He thinks he's too good for us now. He went soft over some woman." They're being taunted, mocked, pulled back toward their old life through guilt and shame and peer pressure. These people are trying to convince them that the streets were their legacy, not their children, not their work, not their love, not their newfound relationship with the divine, not their growth. They're trying to erase this person's spiritual ascension, to invalidate their transformation, to pull them back into darkness, because misery loves company and crabs in a barrel pull each other down. This person has genuinely ascended, evolved, transformed, and negative forces, both spiritual and physical, are attempting to pull them back. It's spiritual warfare happening in the physical realm. Then they met you, someone with beautiful, quiet strength and divine feminine energy. Someone they admire tremendously. Someone who doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. You've given them a new perspective on life, shown them what healthy feminine energy looks like, what a woman operating from her highest self embodies. They truly enjoy who you are and how you move through the world. They're captivated by you, and not willing to let that go because they recognize they've met something rare in you, something they can't find anywhere else, something worth protecting and pursuing. This person does have plans for you. They do wonder what the future could hold for both of you. They imagine scenarios, they daydream about what life could be like together. They think about introducing you to family. They think about what your children would be like if you had them together. They're approaching you slowly, but when they finally come forward with full transparency, it will be about discussing their worth, their values, the insecurities they're working through, and how they're rebuilding themselves from the ground up. Clear, honest, compassionate communication will be absolutely essential with this masculine. They're going to need to communicate with someone who can help them understand beyond any doubt that an entire season of their life has ended. The divine has removed it from them, closed that chapter, and they must recognize this so they don't fall back into harmful company or old patterns that no longer serve their highest good. Let me be very clear about their former associates, because the energy around this is strong. These are people who love excess, who love to celebrate themselves, who operate from ego and external validation. They want to present themselves as powerful, as important, as untouchable. They love superficial displays of wealth and status. They want to appear successful without building anything of spiritual substance, anything that would outlast them, anything that actually matters. All of this is empty idolatry, worshipping false gods of materialism, status, and temporary pleasure. These people idolize material things and false status. They are their own false gods, creating altars to themselves while their souls remain empty. Meanwhile, this person has moved away from all of that. They're simplifying their life, choosing comfort and authenticity over performance and image. They're choosing substance over style, depth over surface, truth over illusion. They're not living for false idols anymore. They're not trying to impress people who don't matter. They're not chasing validation from sources that can never truly satisfy. And their former associates can feel it. They can sense them unplugging from that entire matrix, and it threatens them because it holds up a mirror to their own emptiness. This person actually feels sorry for the people they used to associate with, and that compassion is beautiful even if it's not fully reciprocated. They keep trying to offer wisdom, trying to be a benevolent teacher, trying to share what they've learned, which is actually part of their calling, though they don't know it yet. They're meant to teach, to guide, to mentor, but not these particular people. These people don't respect them enough to receive that wisdom. They feel this person is lost when actually this person has found themselves for the first time. The truth is they've been called away from these people by the divine, and they're gonna have to realize that and take swift action. They need to truly step into their divine masculinity, and that means making hard choices about who stays in their life and who needs to be released with love. Much of their transformation will involve talking things through with you. You're going to become their safe space, their confidant, their emotional home. You'll be the keeper of their secrets, the witness to their transformation, the person who sees them at their most vulnerable and loves them anyway. You'll be the one who knows the innermost parts of them, the dreams they've never spoken out loud, the fears that wake them up at night, the hopes they're almost afraid to have. They just have to come to terms with letting you in and allowing you to see that depth, trusting you with the most tender parts of themselves. They're going to return to you because you truly are their counterpart, their mirror, their match. Your high priestess energy, your ability to be still, to keep secrets, to observe without judgment, to comfort, to truly know someone beyond their words makes you the perfect match for this type of divine masculine. They yearn to be known, not just seen but truly known. They yearn to be loved in an observant, understanding way, by someone who pays attention to the details, who notices when they're struggling even when they don't say anything. They need somewhere safe to place their secrets, their deepest thoughts, their most vulnerable moments. You two are genuinely made for each other in ways that go beyond typical compatibility. This is a soul-level match, and it's about patience and hanging in there through this transitional period. Your feminine energy is something they will always exalt and look to as a guiding light, something reliable and true in a world that has often been chaotic and unstable for them. This is destiny, and it is absolutely in the future plans. The universe has orchestrated this meeting, and there's divine timing at work here. Someone needs to be open and receptive when they come to talk, because they're coming soon to let you in, to test the waters, to discover if you're truly receptive to the spiritual parts of them, to the vulnerable parts, to the parts that don't match the image people have of them. We already know you are, but they need to realize that for themselves, through experience, through your response, through your acceptance. This is a beautiful connection with so much potential, and I'm genuinely excited for where this is headed. Trust the process, trust the timing, and most importantly, trust yourself to know how to navigate this with wisdom and grace. If this message resonated with you today, don't forget to like and subscribe to Mystic Twinflame Tarot Psychic. Share this reading with someone who needs this energy, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a message meant for your soul. I'll see you in the next reading, beautiful soul. Until then, stay centered in your light.